What's up, Cowboy Nation, Cowboy Headquarters, and America's Team? It's your guy, G, the number one Cowboy fan, Hampton, coming to you live, direct, and correct with some Mo news. That's right, I said Mo news, M-O news that you can use. Give it up. So let me say this here, man, and I've always said it more than once that we always, that this is barbershop talk, and sometimes when we're talking barbershop talk, it's all about a person's opinion. It's never personal. And the way people think is I have to accept it because everybody have their opinion about our Dallas Cowboys. When it comes to Dak Prescott, some people have their opinion about Dak Prescott, said that he's, trash. It's time to move on from Dak Prescott. Some people say, well, why would you say that he's a Pro Bowler and why haven't we extended him and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if you've never been a part of barbershop talk, well, this is what it's about. It's about everybody voicing their opinion. But see, now I have my platform to where I can voice my opinion as if I was in the barbershop and everybody's listening. And then it will be the next man's turn, his opinion. And next man, well, this is my platform right now to voice my opinion about the Dallas Cowboys. So, as far as the Cowboy Huddle podcast, we're unapologetic about anything that we say here on the Cowboy Huddle podcast. Again, these are my opinions, and whoever guests that I have on here is their opinion. So let's not get in our feelings when we talk about certain topics or certain individuals that's a part of this Cowboy organization. So with that being said, I want to say a big shout out to all our subscribers and all our followers that follow us on the Cowboy Huddle podcast. Yeah, man. And let me also say this. If you can't watch the video, again, it makes it a great audio as well. So if you're on your way to work or on your way to the gym or something like that, always check this video out on audio. You just go to YouTube and, play it over your system in your car, your truck or whatever. And just, check us out, man, because, again, man, we try to bring good content. Big shout out to Mama Fleabug, so she's always in the background and supporting the Cowboy the Cowboy Huddle podcast, making sure I stay on script and making sure that we got content to report. So with being said, I want to give it up to Mama Fleabug. So yeah, let's get right on into this. I've been thinking about something, and I had to go back, all the way back, when this organization originated. Oh yeah, because there is a, what do you want to say? There is a order on how the Cowboys originated and how it moved through the years up until now, and we're going to talk about this to figure out what could be the problem for the last 28, 29 years. So the team was founded, I think, in 1960. And the first coach of this team was Tom Landry. Give it up for Tom Landry. May he rest in. Yeah, give it up for Tom Landry. And within the first 5 years of Tom Landry being in control or being the coach of this organization, we found ourselves in the Super Bowl. Within the first 5 years, Tom Landry made his first appearance in the Super Bowl. And from that day forth, there were many times we found ourselves in the Super Bowl. I believe it was around about 1988 when we began to start declining. Our team began to start to suck. It was so bad, guys, to where I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was like in the late '80s that our games were so bad that they blacked out our games. Yeah, they blacked out our games. For you guys that don't remember, it was a time that because we couldn't sell enough tickets at the game, our games were not televised. Yeah, but up until that time, Tom Landry created a dynasty. He created a dynasty within the organization where big names came through the Dallas Cowboys organization. Ed Too Tall Jones, Calvin Hill, Bob Hayes, uh, Randy White, um, Hollywood Henderson, which was always my favorite, Jeffro Pugh. Oh man, it's just so many. Bill Bates, Darren Woodson's, which we cannot get into Hall of Fame for whatever reason. Um, let's see, Roger Staubach, Drew Pearson, Butch Johnson, that did the California Quake. I don't know if y'all remember the California Quake, but these are just the things that I was able to witness as a kid. Robert Newhouse, Tony Dorsett, Alvin Harper. Well, Alvin Harper was not under Tom Landry. Who else was that? Golden Richards. Oh man, Tony Hill. You guys don't know Tony Hill? Pull up Tony Hill. Tony Hill was a bad receiver for the Cowboys. So we went through that. We went through the Tom Landry era, and then we took a downturn. That downturn went for another 5 years, 88, 89, 91. Yeah, about 4 years. Then we took a downturn. And what we did, we turned around and we brought in another coach. Now, this coach was a coach that never ever coached in the NFL. He was a coach that was well known in the collegiate era. He created a dynasty in the collegiate realm of football with the Miami Hurricanes. Jimmy Johnson, give it up for Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was a legend. He came out of Oklahoma State. He coached at Oklahoma State, moved on to uh, the Miami Hurricanes, where he won championships after championships, and he was very successful. But because of the downtrod of the Cowboys, it got to a point to where the Cowboys were sold, and this team was sold to billionaire Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones came in, and let me say this here: when they sold the Cowboys and they got rid of Tom Landry, it was devastating. It was like they kicked the door in, and next thing you know, Jerry Jones was firing Tom Landry, and we watched as Tom Landry was cleaning out his desk. This is a guy that basically built the foundation of the Cowboys. So that was a tough era, and we lost a lot of fans when Tom Landry was fired. But again, me born and raised, and I understand we have fans outside of Texas now. We definitely appreciate every fan that we have on this fan base. But as for me, the way I was raised by my grandfather and my family members, we were always raised to be Dallas Cowboy fans. So it was tough, but at the same time, we still had to, you know, bear the hard time. And we had to, go through this time of heartbreak. But at the same time, this is when Jerry Jones brought in his friend and former teammate from Arkansas, Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson, again, like I say, he was very successful in the collegiate world and he made a difference. And within 5 years, we found the Cowboys back in the Super Bowl. Now, y'all probably say, Why are you giving us a history lesson? Because some people don't know how this thing originated, how it started. But I'm going somewhere with this. And within those 5 years, which Jimmy wasn't part of the last Super Bowl, but it was still his team, and Barry Switzer was one that just jumped on the bandwagon and he just rolled to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson's team. But yeah, Jimmy Johnson was one that basically built a dynasty with grit, with determination, with discipline, with accountability. And it was to a point to where Randy Wright had to go to Jimmy Johnson. And he said, well, hey, coach, I love you to death, man, but you doing some stuff that, they only do in college. Because what Jimmy Johnson was doing, he was actually, hey, we're going to train. We're going to get in shape. We're not going to sit around here, smoke squares, and just show up for practice. No, we're going to train. We're going to get in shape. We're going to use our strength and conditioning coach, and we're going to get you old guys in shape. Well, Randy White, well, coach, let me holler at you for a minute. She say, love you, coach, but I got to go. Yeah. So Randy White ended up retiring because of the structure that Jimmy Johnson brought to the field. The discipline that he brought to the team. Somebody said there was a kicker that said he had asthma. No, it wasn't a kicker. It was a guy that's right out of Fort Worth, Texas, that said he had asthma, and that was his excuse. But knowing who Jimmy Johnson was, he said the asthma field is over there. So you can take your little old scrawny butt over there to the asthma field, but there's no excuses here. So that was a great era, and it really upset me when we got rid of Jimmy Johnson. That was heartbreaker. That was another heartbreaker. That was another heartbreaker. And this was the time that Jerry Jones felt that he could win with anybody. Well, I beg to differ. 28 years later, here we are. Now I said all that to say this. We had a coach that actually started the organization, and we started a new chapter with a new coach out of college that picked up where Tom Landry left off, and he came in and he made it his business to restructure this team to what he wanted it to be, and that's what he did. So once the Jimmy Johnson era was over, we brought in different coaches, different former NFL coaches. This guy, we brought in, Dave Campo. We brought in Chan Gailey. We brought in Bill Parcells. We brought in Jason Garrett. We brought in all these different NFL coaches to try to turn the team around. No one was successful. So when we brought in Jason Garrett, I said, okay, well maybe Jason Garrett knows a little bit about football, but the lack of with the lack of experience on the field, didn't work. 9 years with him, nothing happened. 8 and 8 seasons. And then we bring in Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, another one, had a Super Bowl, but at the same time, here we are. His third year, fourth year of his contract, and he made the statement that I know how to win. I want to run the damn ball. Now, with those two statements right there, as an owner, I would have to say, well, did he successfully overcome those statements? And to be quite honest with you, I would have to say no. He didn't run the ball like we thought he was going to run the ball, and he didn't win like he said he knew how to win. And here we are today running it back where Jerry Jones is saying he's all in. Now, we're saying now what does he mean by he's all in? Well, we can say that he did bring in Mike Zimmer after Dan Quinn left, and he brought in Mike Zimmer, which I think that is a definitely a positive move in the right direction. Again, and I said this before in the last video that Dan Quinn was a good guy. Dan Quinn was one that was hands-on with his players, and those players would run through the brick wall for Dan Quinn. But Dan Quinn had one problem. He had a problem in how to scheme against the motion offense. And yes, Dan Quinn had a Super Bowl appearance, but again, we have new ideas, we have new blood, we need to have new coaches, young coaches coming with new ideas on how to play the game of football. And we know the game has changed tremendously. This game has changed tremendously. And you know, if you know, you know. So these young coaches, and not only are young coaches, but you have some older coaches that is catching on to how to change the game of football. And what has happened is Dan Quinn was one that he knew he had issues against this motion offense to where he felt when it came to Green Bay, I have to do something different. Now we're not going to say that Dan Quinn was the only one that lost this game for us because Mike McCarthy, you're not safe either. But Dan Quinn felt that he thought, well, if I've had problems before, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to run a zone defense. Well, we saw that it didn't work. They saw that it didn't work, and it hurt us. Also, with the offensive side of the ball, again, we talk about, if we had a running game, we had a running game. We had a running game. Our running game would have been Hunter Luque as the fullback and Tony Pollard as the tailback. Emmitt Smith had Moose Johnson, Daryl Johnston as his lead back. And Emmitt Smith have said time after time that he wouldn't be where he is today without Moose Johnson. So now I say that to say now, Mike McCarthy, you being the coach that you're, this analytical coach that you analyze everything about the game. How is it that you did not recognize that Tony Pollard needed a lead back? But not only that, if you look at Mike McCarthy's offense, his passing game only included basically the primary and secondary receiver. The primary was CeeDee Lamb, who was the secondary. Right, Jake Ferguson. What about Brandon Cook? Well, we got Brandon Cook on the option 3. And we keep saying that Michael Gallup sucked. No, Michael Gallup doesn't suck. It's just the offensive plays are not designed for 4 receivers. It's not designed for 4 receivers. Let me say that again. It's not designed for 4 receiver set. So we want to come down on Michael Gallup. Well, yeah, he dropped some balls, but damn, if you go to him one time out of every 20 plays and you're not expecting a ball, yeah. But this is something that I expect Dak to, if you like against the Green Bay, yeah, you're going to take away CeeDee, you're going to take away Ferguson. Okay, so let's work this other side of the field. Dak, that's where I need you to be big at. If you're going to get paid like a first-round draft pick quarterback, you got to start thinking like a first-round draft pick quarterback. You're going to have to do the Tom Brady, the Peyton Manning, the Pat Mahomes type of play calling. Call it on the fly. So, and that's what didn't happen. We didn't recognize that, hey, they're taking away this, but let me, Michael Gallup, because the time Michael Gallup did catch the ball against Green Bay, guess what he did? He, took advantage of the person that was covered. And he was one-on-one in Green Bay, but for whatever reason, Dak didn't look that way. Anyway, so I say all that to say this. So we decided to keep Mike McCarthy. We're going to run him back with Mike McCarthy. But I'm going to say this here. What if, and before I say this, so again, these coaches that we brought in, they've been in the NFL. They've been in the league for years. It's just, it's a job. Hey, I've seen it. I can do it. But what if we would have said, Mike McCarthy, we love you, but we're going to do something different. Let me get on this phone. Let me call this individual out of the collegiate level and let me say, hey, would you, could you, and will you come coach this team? Let me dial him up. Hey, Nick Saban? Hey, how about, why not? Yeah, he tried it. He tried it and before in the NFL, wasn't very successful. But again, did he have the players that he needed in order to be successful? Was the league ready for Nick Saban? No, they wasn't really ready for Nick Saban. Nick Saban, yeah, but you brought in Mike Zimmer. Now you got Jimmy Johnson. Well, let me just say, Michael Parsons said we need more accountability. This is what he said. He said we need to let too many things slide. We need to change the identity. He said I want people to be locked in for 22 games. That's what he said. So Micah knows that there's some lagging. But why wouldn't we have reached out to Nick Saban and say, Nick Saban, this team needs some discipline. This team needs some accountability. Now, again, this is my opinion. You might not agree with it, but I'm just saying. Mike McCarthy, he's a nice guy. Nobody's held accountable. No, he's not going back over and say, well, Dak, why'd you throw the ball over there? Or, hey, Tony Pollard, why'd you pop outside and I told you to stick to the game plan? These are nice guys that was coaching this team, and guess what? It was a kumbaya. And we have to get back to the lessons of holding people accountable. Now, y'all might say, well, Gary, that's a little harsh. Well, maybe that's what we need. Harshness on this team. Because everybody think they are what do you call it? Entitled because they were the star. Well, there's a lot that comes with the star. There's a lot that goes on. But just my thought. What do you guys think? Why not? Mike McCarthy, you had your opportunity to show us that you could run the ball, and Hunter Luke fumbled the ball one time, and you used them. You did not use them ever since. But you know how to win. So, and we're asking ourselves, why haven't they did anything with Dak Prescott? Well, you're not going to see anything happen with Dak Prescott for a while, guys. Everybody said, well, the extension might not happen. Extension is going to happen, whatever. We don't know. We don't know. But there was a time, this video is going a little longer than I expected, but there was a time that, and that's my question to you guys. Who's actually running this team? Who actually running this organization? Let me say that, the organization. Is it Jerry Jones or is it Stephen Jones? And I say that because I remember when, and I'm going to take y'all back to something. I remember when Jerry Jones would go out and buy a Super Bowl. Yeah. Y'all don't remember that? We couldn't beat Deion Sanders, so what did we do? We signed Deion Sanders. We couldn't beat Ken Norton, so what did we do? We signed Ken Norton. We couldn't beat Charles Haley. What did we do? We signed Charles Haley. We couldn't beat Terrell Owens. What did we do? We signed Terrell Owens. Which he didn't get us a Super Bowl, but we went out to big, we went out to big names. And who else? Amari Cooper, one of the best route runners out there in the league. And we brought Amari Cooper, and that was probably the best thing that could have happened for Dak. And at the time, he was teaching CeeDee Lamb how to become a better receiver. So I say that to say because we had the opportunity to bring in Derrick Henry. We don't. It was a time we didn't care about money. We didn't care about what it's going to cost us later on. We went out and got players. So here we are in mid-season, and Derrick Henry's out there, and we left him out there. This is something that I think Jerry wouldn't have passed up. Jerry wanted that Manziel kid. What was his name? Yeah, Manziel. Whatever, I can't remember his name. I'm glad we didn't get him, but it's all about the brand with Jerry Jones. It's all about the brand and what's going to keep the star popping and what's going to keep us relevant. So when we talk about Derrick Henry and the opportunity to pick up Derrick Henry, we passed on Derrick Henry. Now, I'm not saying that we can't get him now, but at the time, that could have been our ticket to get us further, since we wasn't going to use Hunter Luque as a fullback to lead for Tony Pollard. But this would have been our ticket in the red zone. But we passed. So my question to you is: was that a Jerry Jones decision or a Stephen Jones decision? So yeah, I'm a little curious if Stephen Jones is taking over the reins or the control or the position of Jerry Jones, because a lot of this doesn't seem like this is a Jerry Jones decision or a Jerry Jones move or not to move. This is more seems like it's a more of a excuse me, a Stephen Jones or Stephen Jones and a Will McClay or something to that nature. But also, could this be the reason that Jerry Jones brought in Jimmy Johnson? Could it be? Now, this could be a conspiracy. I'm just wondering. Jerry is bringing in Jimmy Johnson as an advisor because he's losing control of the organization. Steven is doing what he wants to do. So Jerry has put his ego aside and he realized that, you know what? My son is trying to take the organization. Now, this is just my opinion, guys. There's no facts to this. It's just me talking. What if? What if, okay? And he brought Jimmy Johnson in so he can retain or regain his control of this organization. Now, I say this. I don't know how much leadway that Jimmy will have, but oh boy, y'all have opened the door for maybe, possibly, changes in the organization. Hmm. Yeah. Will he have more control? Have we brought Jimmy Johnson back to help Jerry regain the control of this organization? Now, I'm going to say this here. Do not be surprised. Do not see a surprise of some major changes. Major changes. I'm going to just leave it at that. With Mike Zimmer and Jimmy Johnson at the helms of things. Again, Mike Zimmer can care less who you are. Jimmy Johnson can care less who you are. If you're not doing a job, if you're not holding it down at your position, I know Jimmy Johnson. Some of y'all was babies when y'all saw Jimmy Johnson, but I know what Jimmy Johnson stands for. He do not stand for BS. He's a realist. He's not going to take a lot of time to continue to go back and forth. And once he makes his mind up, that is going to be the final decision. So, yeah, again, we won't see anything happen until the free agent market opens. So, guys, y'all can calm down with the Dak Prescott situation and what's going on with Dak, because that's a process. It's a process. But my question is, why are we holding on to Trey Lance? Will we use Trey Lance as trading bait? If we don't, this is the thing. Why are we holding on to Trey Lance? Okay, now this is my last. I don't know if you want to call it rant, but why are we holding on to Trey Lance? If we don't want him to play, uh-oh, I got company, y'all.
Can I try, Papa?
Can you what, baby?
Can I try?
Okay, yeah, my granddaughter wants to talk real quick. Tell everybody hello.
Hello.
So how you doing?
How you doing?
Tell them your name. What's your name?
David.
Okay. All right. Y'all give it up for Coco. All right. Thank you, baby. It never fails. One of my grandkids, if they're here, they're going to come check on their pawpaw. Bye-bye. See you later. Oh, she got her tennis shoes on, man. So, yeah, that's my granddaughter, Coco. So, again, why are we holding on to Trey Lance? Get rid of him. If you're not going to play him, but it's been told we're picking up his 4th year or whatever, for what? If you're not going to let him play, they're saying, well, we're going to let him compete for second string quarterback. Listen, don't do Trey Lance like that. Let him out the stable. Give him an opportunity to go to a team and play. Would you please, if y'all don't plan on using Trey Lance, if you don't want to use Trey Lance, let him go. Let him go somewhere where he can go play. But this is unfair that you're holding on to Trey Lance just to sit there. So hopefully, if we're not going to use Trey Lance, I just hope and pray that, man, Jimmy Johnson or somebody come in and say, listen, let this man go play somewhere, okay? Let him go play. And we let him play somewhere, man. But it's just ridiculous holding on to this guy. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to get on here, man. And I'm just thinking about, the origins and how this team was originated and the successful periods of the Cowboys history. And now we know. And again, we went through this long draft. Maybe it's time to bring in another collegiate, successful coach. Maybe it's time. These NFL coaches, we're done. There's a new way they're playing football. There's a new way they're doing things. You can't, it's a new era. So we have to evolve with the era, right? So just something to think, guys. Hey, do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And make sure you share this video. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you will be notified when the next video is posted. Again, guys, thank y'all for stopping through. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your support of the Cowboy Huddle podcast. Again, if you can't watch the video, it always sounds great as an audio. So when you're driving around, just put it on. You have to be at home to listen to what I got to say. But again, thank you, guys. And I've taken a lot more than I expected. But things need to be put out there. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go on start the weekend, and I hope you guys continue to stay safe and continue to be blessed. It's your guy, G, the #1 Cowboy fan.